Alright, you guys know that I'm pretty high on or was pretty hyped for Wilds of Eldraine, and while it might not have lived up to some of the pre-sales of its predecessor standard sets of 2023, I think it's showing a trend that we haven't seen yet. Wizards of the Coast have been trying to get us to take to this, and we have just rejected them. It seems like we have finally come around. And does that mean everything is shifting? It might be. I'm bursting at the seams. This is a member-only content, and I am super excited to talk about this one. All right, let's go. Wizards of the Coast has been trying to convince us that, trust me, enthusiasts, trust me, players, trust me, everyone who buys Magic, you want these special versions of cards printed for a specific set. Thinking no further than things like gilded foils, halo foils, and any other variant that was printed specifically for the product it was printed in, mainly standard booster sets and collector booster boxes in those sets. And historically, traditionally, we have not only rejected this as a means of collectability, but we have flat out said, no thank you. It's not something that drives the product for us. It's not something we choose to chase down. It's not something we're proud to display in any type of way. Well, Wilds of Eldraine leaned more into this and said, not only are we going to give you anime versions of cards, but you're getting confetti anime versions of cards. If I was a better editor, I would be like, poo, confetti right here. But, you know, like, listen, I'm headed to work. I'm doing what I can. But I really do think that this might be the first time that they got it right. So let's talk about everything going on with what might be the most collectible aspect of Wilds of Eldraine and why it's working right now where traditionally it hasn't. And then furthermore, I want to talk about, is this going to take in the future? Well, we've got a lot to discuss, and we need to head over to TCG Player. So right here on TCG Player, we have Wilds of Eldraine pulled up, and recently I updated the Wilds of Eldraine sales data. I'll make sure to link that in a pinned comment below for all of you if you want access to that sales data. There'll be a spreadsheet that you can take a look at. But most importantly, I want to talk about the fact that this product is still selling. It's still selling better than I anticipated. Historically, a standard set releases, we get hyped for it, we buy a bunch of it, and then, as I've said multiple times, we really have nowhere to go with the product, so we kind of put it by the wayside and wait for the next thing. With Standard not being a massively viable format, you might pick up a thing or two for Commander decks here and there. Pioneer and Modern players will pick up the one or two cards that change their respective formats, and then they kind of move on. But standard product releases recently have done a great job, in my opinion, of bringing the Commander community into their product while still maintaining the standard set as the main thing, if you will. They've done this with things like the Enchanting Tales, the Brothers War schematic artifacts, and then up in Ixalan, we're getting this special guest kind of subset in there. But in this variant, we saw the anime cards, and there was some criticism, some pushback, even from me, on the anime cards originally. There was some saying the art on some of them feels a bit out of place. Like, listen, I will never denounce Goose Hydra. I will always be here for Goose Hydra. But there was some people that were saying, hey, I just don't think we're going to take to this. And lo and behold, the regular anime art is something that we like but didn't necessarily drive the product. But then we got this variant on top, and that's where we pop over to take a look at the confetti foiling treatment. Now, the confetti foiling treatment felt not necessarily completely out of place, but like thematically, it didn't really find a niche or fit anywhere. And it's something that when we first looked at, I think one of the first ones we happened to see was a Blood Moon, and it was like, ooh, it felt a bit jarring. If you've seen that Blood Moon, let me know in the comment section below, or, you know, if you have at this point want to let me know your feelings on the confetti foil treatment at all, I'm here for it. But it did come on a pretty popular subset of cards, and a subset of cards that, you know, really is printed for our largest Magic the Gathering community, so it had that going for it. But historically, when we look at things like gilded foils, where there's some popular Commander cards that came out in gilded foil, and it hasn't come out since. We look at Halo foils, where there's a lot of really cool Halo foil variants. It didn't really drive the products or keep us engaged, nor did it hold a very high price point. But looking here, we see, yes, some confetti foils, the ones that aren't played, are super cheap, but some are holding a much higher price point. And in my opinion, the reason that's happening is we finally have a limited printing of something. It seems like Wizards of the Coast have gotten this right, to their credit. they finally said, we can't just give you a wildly spectacular version of a card. We also have to make it rare. If we're going to make it the chase, it has to be chaseable. But it's got to fall in that nice little realm of balance. And for those who don't know, and I want to talk about this really quick, I do believe that your chase cards have to fall within a realm of balance if you want your entire community to feel like they have a chance. Looking at something like the One Ring, right? We realistically didn't have a chance at pulling that, and I still believe with collector booster boxes still sitting around $400 for Lord of the Rings, that yes, the One Ring and its lore and its hype added a bit of juice, but with it not being a realistic pull target, the rest of the community was buying that product and still is for other reasons. I mean, heck, a serialized version of the most played card ever in Magic the Gathering, does that ring a bell to anybody? Or, you know, up until recently, the Realms and Relic and Surge foils, like, ugh, we won't talk about that. This isn't a negativity video right now. This is the fact that this product is getting it right. But there's a change that's been made here. This Ristic study, for example, only has 21 other listings on TCG Player, and if we look at the sell-through rate of this product, while it's decent since the product's inception, it's not crazy. Like, since dating all the way back to 8/17, we haven't seen nearly as many sales as I would have anticipated. And those sales started speculating, hey, it's going to be an expensive card, but often the community rejects something like this, but it has trended in the opposite direction, with the most recent sale being at $460, and we even see a couple here eclipsing $500 when things were probably light. But I say all that to say that it seems like they've figured out, if they want to get us to chase down some of their cool variants or things that they're going to print in a set-specific manner to make that set feel special, it has to be limited. I talk a lot on this channel about Magic's comparison to other games, how indie TCGs are up and coming, and we see things like look no further. I said it in my video today, but I'll say it again. The Sorcery trading card game is leaning into something similar, and it seems like all of these trading card games have figured out the same thing. It's like, hey, we can give you game pieces, and you can love your game pieces. But if you want the thing that we tell you is special to feel special, we have to make it fall in this balance. It has to be achievable. The regular person has to be able to go to a store, buy a box off the shelf for a reasonable amount of money. Now, that varies to everybody, but let's say in the trading card game community, whatever that is to you, you need to be able to buy that box for a reasonable amount of money, and I need to have the opportunity, the same opportunity that Rudy has, the same opportunity that Post Malone has, the same opportunity that Josh at Hometown TCG has, to pull a special card and feel excited about that. And Wilds of Eldraine is doing a great job at that, and I think it shows. Again, I said it in my video today that Magic is really starting to lean into, hey, we need to make this product collectible again. We need to give standard sets a home. It has to be more than Commander. Magic has a chance to be super wide, and it has to lean into that. But I think this is a great sign, in my opinion. Like, this is a really good sign, right? We're seeing Wizards acknowledge in some form or fashion that it's okay to have something limited. Now, if you've stuck around this long, I want to bring up a comparison that could be a bit scary. We do know Kamigawa Neon Dynasty was a card with a super chase. The Hidatsugu, or Hidatsugu, I don't know how to pronounce that, to be honest with you. I think it's Hidatsugu. The pink stripe version, or I think the red stripe, or whatever it is, that was a crazy chase card until they printed more. But in fairness, it's still a crazy chase card. The community just thought it was going to be maybe, you know, only 2/3 of the print run, or whatever the reprint or restock or re-release, whatever the speculation is. You know, something like that could shock a system where we do think these things are rare. So maybe Wizards of the Coast is reprinting less product, but it seems like whatever it is, we're finally taking to this. Now, they're popular cards. It's a set-specific treatment, and for all we know, they're unnumbered. Maybe we're just willing to give Wizards of the Coast a bit of our confidence back, or whatever it might be, but I'm excited about it. I think a big focus going from 2024 to 2025 on the channel is not only going to be more than about value of the box, but I think a big message that I'm seeing is going to be collectability's back. And unless something changes in the Magic ecosystem, or Wizards changes the way they're printing products, I think that's going to be something that I'm going to lean into. And I'm going to ask you guys, If you're here, like, listen, I value your opinion. I'm considering starting a Discord. If anybody wants to moderate that, opening up the Hometown TCG Discord to the public, and then making a members-only section so we can continue some of these conversations. I can share stuff with you a little more aggressively, a little faster than I'm used to, so let me know if that's something that interests you. Also, I'm thinking about bringing gameplay content to the channel once a week as like a second video on the same day, because I play so much Magic the Gathering and I have so much fun. I feel like I could make some fun gameplay content, but let me know if that's not something that the channel would like, or you guys would like, or the community would like. Then hey, you know, I'm here to entertain, I'm here to have fun, and I'm here to continue to grow the amazing community we have. Thank you again so much for your continued support. Until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh, and let me know if you think this is going to help hold up Wilds of Eldraine, if you think this means collectability's back, or if you think the confetti foils are all just a ruse and you think they're probably going to zero. Let me know. I hope to hear from you. I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.